right, so we're about to begin the great rewire on the Coyote. So we got all the old stuff out. This is a combination of a bunch of pre-built harnesses that I built. You know, just a bunch of random pieces of wiring. Some made by Holley, like I said, some made by myself. Got most of the wiring out. That goes to the EGTs. I probably won't take that out because there's really only one spot that I can plug into, which is the headers at the bottom. Then it's another one, another EGT cord over here. What is this? Random piece of wire, goes in the trash. Because we're not going to be using any wiring that was on the car. Everything is going to be built from scratch. The engine harness, pretty much everything else that the car is going to need. Going to be switching over to TXL wire, which is actually the factory wire that Ford uses for their stuff. And then also it's going to be a combination of TXL wire and Tesla wire. This is like some 10 gauge stuff. This will power, off the top of my head, I know it's going to power my fuel pumps. And I still got to take the head out because I want to redo the wiring from pretty much from the tank all the way to where it's going to be controlled. We're going to be doing some different styles of wire connection this time. So one reason why, one of the reasons why I planning on doing this, or wanted to do this, because I felt like some of the wiring techniques that I use at the level that my car at is just not going to be good for longevity of things. And I wanted to avoid having issues with wiring. Luckily, I haven't had any. So far with the car actually just got off the dyno about a week ago. Made a little bit over 1500 wheel on mild boost. Probably has another 20 or so pounds of boost to go from what it made at 1500. I'd imagine probably top out about a little bit over 2000, something like that. And for the people that don't know, it's a custom turbo kit with twin Garrett 73 millimeter turbos, 7375s if I remember right, the G42 1200s. So yeah. And actually I haven't decided how I'm going to seed it yet. I might try and heat loom some of it. But I actually just bought some of this really nice, what you call this stuff? Man, I'm having a brain for it here. But some wire loom. So yeah. And this is actually rated for heat, give you a little bit of heat protection, and also some weather protection as well. As far as like oils and stuff like that, it'll kind of help out with that. And it looks good. It looks good. I like the black with the white X's going through, and I got different sizes. Like I said, that just came in about an hour ago. Some other things we're going to be doing differently. You know, the connections that we do have to splice together, the wires that we have to splice together, we're going to be using non-insulated butt splices. I have a couple of different sizes here. And another big thing, when I've been using DTP connectors, which are these connectors right here, the Deutsch DTP. I actually grabbed some DTM connectors that I'll be using for my bigger gauge stuff, like my fuel pumps. They require 10 gauge wire. So these DTM connectors will support 10 gauge wire. And another thing that I feel like I was kind of skipping out on is some of the pins that I was using. Actually, I'm sorry, this is some more butt splices. I can't, where's my pin? Okay, here they go. So using the correct pins with the connector that are rated for the power that you're trying to push through them, that's a fairly big deal. And you want to make sure that you got the right pins for as far as amp rating and the size of wire that you're going to be using. Also, as you can see here, I got a OEM fuel level sender. I'm gonna when I pull the hat out, I'm gonna add hook that up so I can be able to check my fuel gauge. Found this little pretty cool little toy here. This is what I'm going to be using for my ground connections. for anything that I need to ground. Have everything running to this door connector and then stud it here, and they're gonna have a nice chassis ground versus having, you know, a bunch of different grounding connections throughout the car. There's still gonna be some, but I could plug the majority of them to here. We're also going to be using the rewire will consist of me using a PDM. All the wiring will be based out of this. Went with the Hardwire PDM 25. So I got everything pretty much set up, and as far as the programming for what I'm gonna be doing with this PDM 25 software wise already. So I just got to get all this stuff hooked up. Mounted and hooked up. And also I do want to say something about these. So soldering is not really universally used on really any professional motorsport. So you look at professional, well, I ain't gonna say professional drag racing, but I'd imagine a lot of the top fuel NHRA guys don't use anything solder. I know for sure, you know, Formula One, NASCAR, and any of those things, these things are actually not what you want to use. The solder could possibly, you know, eventually break down, and you know, applications that are susceptible to a lot of vibration, that solder can, you know, vibrate and crack, and do different things like, you know, completely disable the connection or cause high resistance in the wires or all kinds of stuff. So I have these here, and I'll probably be using for stuff like around the house, but I won't be using these anymore for automotive applications. So yeah, that's like the gist of everything. What I'm gonna start doing, I think I'm gonna, you know, kind of start mounting stuff up now that I got all the wiring going. I think the first thing I'm gonna do is start getting stuff cleaned up, and then start installing different parts. So I'm actually going to do, so before the dominator and pretty much all of my wiring was based right here under the headlight, which is where most S197s mount everything, and it worked fine, like I said, but it was for sure not the most serviceable thing, not the most accessible thing, and you know, it's definitely more exposed to the elements and everything being right there under that bumper. So what I'm going to do is actually get it mounted underneath the dash, well, behind the dash. That's why I got it all out and whatnot, and it will go there. These are some of the old harness. I actually might end up keeping this coil pack harness and using that. Jolt created this, and it's a pretty nice harness, and I'm not really going to get much else out of building something different. So I may do it, may keep this, or I may not. I haven't decided yet. Things like this style of relay, I'm gonna get rid of. This is for the typical relay you see at the trans brake. We'll only have this one relay. This will be the only extra relay that I'll have. Oh shit, might have broken. But this will be the only extra relay that I have on the car outside of the PDM. Which is the big benefit to the PDM. It deletes all the fuses and relays and stuff that you would normally have on a car. So I'm gonna use this solid state relay for. I plan on using it for the trans brake. But if there's any other things that I feel like doesn't make sense to use with the PDM, then I will just have it going here. You can have these. These are pretty great, solid state, very reliable, 35 amp rating per channel, 4 channels. So you can control 4 different things, and they actually can be controlled either ground or power activation. So really, really nice. And PWM. It'll handle, you know, a PWM signal, whereas some relays, you know, might not. And the PDMs actually are not something that you want to run pulse width modulated applications with as well. According to my research, they don't really handle that, like I said, that well. Still got some wires to take out on the back for the tail light and then the transmission fans, because I'm still going to redo all of that stuff. Probably vacuum the car out, get that all cleaned up, and like I said, get ready to start getting some of these electronics mounted and start getting this wiring planned out. All right, so first thing to do is power, so aka the battery. I had it right there under the driver's side headlight before, but in hopes of making everything a little bit more serviceable, a little bit more accessible, move it in another spot. I didn't really have any issues with it being under that headlight, but just kind of want to have it grouped together a little bit closer to everything else as far as wiring goes. And I feel like this spot could be even more accessible for me. So I'm actually going to mount it right here. It's gonna go here. And it'll be able to open arms and reverse it. I have it out this way so I can pop the battery out if I ever needed to. And then these keep the terminal areas open. So, and then I plan on having the ECU and everything else right there. So I feel like that's a pretty solid spot to have everything. Everything be close together, no long runs as far as power or ground or anything like that. Anything that needed, it could have direct power from the battery, could get it fairly easy. Same thing with grounds. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna do it. And I'll probably throw a good chassis ground from the battery to the chassis on here as well. So yeah, going to get this mounted and come back. Oh, actually, did want to show ATX 20 HD is the battery that I run. Super light. I haven't had any issues with this thing at all. Some people say they do. This is really great because when it gets too low, it'll actually turn itself off so it doesn't kill any of the cells inside the battery. Then you can just simply jump it off with some voltage and then it'll pop back up. And it has this little illuminator to kind of tell you where the battery voltage is at. And it weighs like 3 or 4 pounds. So I love these batteries. Never had really any issues out of them. So yeah, I'll probably more than likely continue to keep using these anti-gravity setups. But like I said, gonna get this mounted and get back. It's just getting a little work done here. So bought these to create mounting points for different stuff around the car. You know, self tappers are probably typically what people use, or maybe just drill a hole and nut and bolt it. But this will actually give you a screw hole with this tool, or bolt hole with this tool. And they come in different sizes, M5, M6, M4, M3. I got a variety kit, and I primarily plan on using M4 and M6 bolts, so I got an extra set of those. And essentially all you do is you drill a hole where you want to go put it. So say if you want to put a hole right there, you drill that hole. You have to set your tool up, a bunch of instructions on how to set the tool up. Make sure you set the tool up how the instructions say, and learn how to adjust it if needed. But once you have the hole drilled, you pop one of these onto here. You essentially just insert the riv-nut in there, squeeze, boom, and that's what this system is called, riv-nut system. But that is what you get. Remember I said this is where the battery is going to get mounted. So now we got the 3 holes to mount the bracket, and then we can pop the the battery bracket, and then we can pop the battery inside there. So I'm gonna get that done and keep on moving. Now we got the finished product for the battery location. Looks great, out of the way, mounted really nice, secure, not going anywhere. Yeah, I really like that. So now next step will be the next part of the electrical system, which would be the battery shut off or kill switch. And I run, this is actually from, I think, T1 Automotive. This is, which I don't think they actually make this. I think this is probably from Data Panel. And T1 actually sells a kit. I don't think I bought this from T1. T1 does sell a kit that I think it comes with a switch and all that stuff, but pretty sure I just bought this, the relay only from Data Panel. 300 amps, handles a lot of power, and a very nice, reliable safety cutoff if you need one. I'm gonna redo the wire here because this looks like shit. And then, well, first I'm gonna get it mounted. Then I'm gonna redo the wire afterwards and keep on pushing. All right, so we got the safety cutoff switch in. Inside will just be pretty self-explanatory from the battery to the end. Then there will be a control. I'm gonna have a switch inside the car so I can cut it off, and then there's gonna be one on the back bumper. Well, actually, I'm sorry. This 12-volt control actually goes from here to there, and then the ground is where you actually control with the switch. So this ground will be going, like I said, one part of it will split to a button inside, and then part will go to the button on the bumper. Then you have the out, which will go to whatever you're powering. So the next step will be to get the Holley in, and then we're going to get the PDM installed here as well. So the Holley actually going to go pretty much, Holley will mount here. It's going to mount roughly like that. So, and then we're going to have the PDM on that firewall there. So yeah, I'm going to get started on this now. All right, we got, already know, got the safety cutoff in. We have the Holley mounted where it's going to be. And then also we have the PDM 25, got it mounted. So that looks great. Get a wide angle view. Looks great. Still got one MSD solid state relay to mount. I think that would be it after that. Once you get that MSD relay mounted, then we will be starting on actually wiring everything up.